Hey team, we are sitting down today with Dell Seiter. He is the association's endorsed candidate for College Station City Council Place 3.
Yes, sir.
The board has endorsed him for a variety of reasons, but we just wanted to give you, our membership, an opportunity today just to get to know Dell a little bit more we wanted to have a conversation with him so that you could see the quality candidate and the true servant's heart that he has for the city of College Station. So Dell, thank you for being with us today.
Outstanding. I'm really pleased to be here. Thanks for having me.
For sure. So one thing that I know about you is that you're a Marine. And so I'm just curious, what is the most memorable experience that you had in the Marine Corps? And how did you bring that back? How did you bring that experience into civilian life?
Okay, so we're going to go with the most memorable good experience and not necessarily bad. Actually, when I joined the Marine Corps, I was looking for a way out of where I was at. I was the guy that was going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. I wasn't a troubled kid, but I hung around with a lot of people in construction trades and things like that put me in places where I probably shouldn't have been at that age. So beside that, I literally woke up one morning after seeing the officer and the gentleman, which is really funny. And, Lou Gossett telling him, I'm going to break you, said, you can't make me quit. Well, I thought, wow, let me give it a shot. So I walked down to the recruiting station, walked up to each of the RSs, and I stood in front of the dress blues and thought, there's no way I can wear any other uniform. And it's that simple. 13 weeks later, I graduated from Marine Corps boot camp and realized that I could be pushed and I could push myself much further than I'd ever done so on a personal level. One of the things that the Marine Corps teaches is they teach us how to define integrity, and that's that thing that we all laugh about and we see memes about. But that's a big deal to me. It's what I do when no one's looking that matters. If I'm consistent in my behavior, I'm consistent in my decisions, and I'm consistent in my choices, it's a very critical tenet for me to maintain since the Marine Corps. And then probably the biggest thing that they taught me is how to adapt and overcome. And during COVID, during financial challenges to the city, my own personal over the years with things that I've had to endure too, not unlike all of you here on the call, it's a situation where being able to adapt and overcome and still have integrity on the other side, it's a big deal. And honestly, I think that's what they taught me that I find most valuable.
Awesome. So
yeah,
obviously you're pro realtor. So tell us kind of the experience that you have with us as a profession, as a lender, and kind of how, continue the conversation with, the realtor conversation particularly. We know that you support private property rights, but what experience do you have with us as realtors?
Well, actually, first, I've been a realtor the entire time. Most people don't know I don't work on my license. Second, I know that as a lender, and my relationship with realtors is everything is my fault. So that will be carried over to city council, and that will be much easier for me to tolerate than most people. But all told, I think that this conversation came up this weekend, and it's kind of unique to our circumstances and what we all do as an industry. And what I found is that people don't realize the value that everyone that's a realtor and works in and around our business, my guys included, they don't realize what we bring to the table for a community, because we're demonized because of short-term rentals, or we're demonized because people want to lease and rent their homes. But people don't realize the number of times that we refer a painter, or we refer a sheetrock guy, we refer demo guys and builders and make-ready people, and we're putting dollars back into the community simply by referring business based off of what we're getting. And we put people out there and help grow that opportunity for our city. All those dollars spent dramatically impact our local economy. I only have a staff of 7, and I don't know how many people really know the inner workings of the mortgage industry, but my staff and the money that we put back in the community, I counted one time just property taxes, just the money spent for some of my people that love to go to the theater way too much. Whatever the case is, people discount the fact that we spend and commit a bunch of money, a bunch of our own personal time and resources to the community, giving back every single day. It's overlooked because it's almost automatic, where it's expected that we do so.
well, and definitely so. I mean, we've got a lot of topics going on around us right now. We've got short-term rentals. We've got no more than 2 unrelated, and your opponent has been, pretty vocal, especially about short-term rentals. And a lot of people who have those STRs are doing that because that's either part of their portfolio, that's part of their retirement plan. That's a business that they have pursued because they've, need that for their household. And so we want to kind of get some additional thoughts from you, because I know that, the STRs are final. However, things can take shape over the years, especially as you join council. So, what's your thought on people's ability to be able to use their property for what they need to kind of sustain themselves and encourage in a positive way their livelihood?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question, and it just came up in the forum that we were just in with the Hospitality Association. And I don't fault hoteliers and people in that industry for wanting to have revenue and wanting to take care of the employees that they have and them wanting to make a living. But at the same time, we have to, again, you covered a while ago, I'm really staunch about private property rights. They're ours. That those properties belong to us, each of us individually. And when we talk about short-term rentals specifically, I actually know people personally that utilize that to pay their bills or to cover their property taxes. There's a lot of elderly throughout the country that do it, so they don't have to sell their homes and move into assisted living or, God forbid, with a family member, or do something that they don't really want to do. I mean, that's a big deal. So it's as important for a short-term rental owner as it is for a hotelier in a lot of cases. And so I'm okay with some of the things that they enacted. We need to have safety. They need to make sure that they're safe. But they keep talking about having a level playing field. And I would like to see some definition on this level playing field. If we're talking about you got to pay the hotel tax, that's fine. And I brought this up today in the forum, is that if we're going to tax those people and that money is going to fund into the hotel tax, the hot tax for the community, then I want that hot tax whenever they're advertising our community, they're advertising opportunities in heads and beds and in real places. I think that the STR should get some of that advertising dollar pushed back towards them. And if it's just mentioning them in our ads and our opportunity, because STRs provide a lot of people a much more private environment and place to stay, or they feel it's safer because there's not someone on the other side of the wall for them every single time. I think it has tremendous value, and I think that it in and of itself pumps a lot of money back into our community.
Well, just to be clear, our association from the start we were very pro STRs paying the hotel occupancy tax. We were pro the safety equipment. We agree with all of that. It's just when they started to tell people where they could and couldn't have certain STRs, that's where we had a problem.
Well, and my opponent actually covered that today. She was quick to let everybody know that she's been mayor pro tem for 2 years, and that she specifically and personally brought this to the floor of council and brought this entire idea up for STR registration, paying into the hot tax, and things of that nature. Again, there are some really good components of what they came up with, but telling people what they can do with their private property, I'm very against it. And like I said, I know I made some people unhappy in that room today, but I promised all of you guys from the beginning, and Hayden knows quite well, because I'm going to tell you the truth, unvarnished, the way I know it. And I don't mean to be brash. I don't mean to sound direct at times, but I would rather cut to the chase and tell you, give you the answer you're looking for and tell you how I really feel about it and why I feel that way. I can support why I feel that way. I see the aspect and I see the impact of taking away this revenue or opportunity for a lot of people, whether it's a homeowner that's struggling to keep afloat, or it's someone that bought a couple of homes and they're using it for rental. That's their revenue, no different than the hotel piece. And our hoteliers trying to make money and fill their beds. Right now, everybody's struggling. Those guys in the hotel industry, I'm going to give them a little bit of prop right here in one regard. It takes a 60+% occupancy rate to actually float those financially. They've been hitting somewhere between 10 and 25% since COVID. They weren't even hitting their real numbers prior to COVID because of the fact that we've overbuilt hotels in our community. The expectation is that it'll always grow and will fill, but right now we should be much more strategic about what's approved and how we go forward in that environment.
So you bring up the idea of strategy. I'm curious, you have talked about big town amenities, being a small town with big town amenities. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about your vision for council and your vision for the city?
Yeah, actually I can. So for council, I think that one of the favorite things I've always said about my staff and what I do here and how long of a tenure I have with some of the people that work for me is simple. I don't micromanage anyone, whether it's here or whether I become a city council person, if we have to micromanage a department head or a department itself, and we have to have that tight overlook, that means we made a bad hire. And we have people that aren't sharing our vision or our constituents' vision of where we want to go long-term as a city. One of the things I covered is that, we don't have a lot of industry. We have the university. Second to that is sports tourism. If we're going to spend our money and we're going to spend any of the funds that we're doing, we need to spend those funds to drive people to our community for that sports tourism. We can grow from there, but right now, 16 years of working nights at the Bryan Post Office. God love me, I never have to go back there again. But it paid my bills. It provided me an opportunity to grow. And every 778 prefix in a zip code feeds to this town to shop, to eat, to go to the hospital and see their doctors. And we need to be marketing to them about coming and spending more time in our community, even during COVID, because a lot of the smaller communities are still struck down and we're performing better than they are. And so running that part of things out is critical. The other thing that I covered today, and it's passionate, I think Hayden and I probably had this talk because he used to be in the office, is I kind of liken College Station to a horseshoe. And the reason I say that is the entire back end, the meat of the horseshoe is Bryan. That we are bordered on every single side by Bryan on that side. And Bryan is a great city. I think that we need to do more to pair ourselves with them, be a sister city, and grow that relationship. On the other end of the horseshoe, where we could grow and have opportunity, is Navasota. And so Navasota is annexing and moving out as fast as they can to prevent us from ever trying to get any closer to them than we have to. And what people are missing in our community is, it's critical that we are all good stewards of the message, and we're all trying to push out that opportunity to grow our city and better our city. We're missing the fact that the moment that parkway is tied in over on 105, the commute to the northwest side of Houston will be 30 minutes for some of those people. We lose relevance when that happens. The actual real estate and opportunity for business growth that Navasota can offer people through just sheer convenience to the tollway or out to other places is critical. And if we don't blow the dust off of things that have happened in the past and try to pair those relationships with Bryan, with the county, and with our sister cities, we're gonna be a bedroom community. And I fear that more than anything, because then everything is restaurants, everything is property taxes, and a few little hot taxes when people are coming and staying overnight. And then we have that struggle of how do we pay the bills and how do we provide all of the opportunity for our city and our people to grow with it.
Awesome. Well, Dell, thank you for your time today. We greatly appreciate it, and we wish you the best of luck on November 3rd.
Outstanding. I appreciate all y'all's time and support. Tree Pack support and y'all here locally has been phenomenal. Thank you very much. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you, Bill.
Good talking.